Hello and welcome. Welcome to this episode of the Forward Thinkers Talk series. My name is Dr. Ivo Pezzuto. I'm a professor of global economics and competitiveness and the founder of the Observatory Ivo Pezzuto Forward Thinking Lab. In this space, we invite prominent and emerging entrepreneurs, founders, and company leaders, thought leaders, in order to share their thought-provoking ideas and expertise on business economics, innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable business model. I'm very pleased today of having here with us a great innovator, forward thinker, an entrepreneur, and a person with a big passion for startup and innovation, Martina Domenicali. She is the co-founder and chief revenue officer of Lexroom, along with her colleagues Andrea Lonza and Paolo Fois. It's an emerging legal tech startup founded in 2023. And for starters, the legal tech are, of course, companies that innovate in the legal space with the support of AI and digital transformation, harnessing the power of artificial intelligence and streamline legal operations and significantly reducing the time spent on legal research, document analysis, automated drafting, and other activities. So Martina, welcome here, and it's great to have you here today.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure.
Thanks, Martina. So you have a legal background, if I understood correctly. You have a law degree from University of Bologna, master degrees in new technology law from the King's College of London, and your colleagues are people with background in engineering, something like that. How this all started? And the things that intriguing for me is to find out the story of your company. What fundamental pain points in the legal sector did you observe that convinced you that the Lexroom could become not just a startup, but a category-defining legal tech platform?
Thank you, Ivo. So first of all, starting from the story, me, Paolo, the CEO, and Andrea, the CTO, we met each other inside a venture builder program. So not the usual, let's say, origination of a founding team. We met each other in Vento, which is an Italian venture builder from Torino. We're quite proud of this origin, let's say, and we chose each other. So first of all, we chose to work together as founders, and this was very powerful for the trust and for the ambition that we had to build a huge company, putting together our backgrounds. As you said, I had the law degree and the lawyer, if you want, insight, and they knew the technology, the LLMs that were booming, and they wanted to work with LLMs. So the insight was to bring this amazing shift in technology to change how legal professional works. And the insight I brought was coming from college. As you said, I did King's College in London, and I used to have a very smart professor that actually was a sliding door for my entrepreneurial career. I was doing a lot of legal research back then, and legal research was still carried out through keyword search or through a lot of reading manuals. So I understood very clearly that large language models working with a huge amount of text, they would have changed completely the way legal research was going to be performed in the next years. So we started from this insight. And as you said, we discovered a whole world with the possibility to build a generational defining company, as we like to call it, changing how legal services are carried out.
Excellent. As we always say, expertise, knowledge, and vision connect with chemistry and personal relationship, personal fit that creates a great blend for launching new stuff. Okay, that sounds great. Martina, instead of the usual, how does it work, your platform, let's focus on the moments that truly change a lawyer's day. You mentioned that before, understanding the pain points. What are the most impactful use cases where Lexroom makes a real difference? Could you walk us through examples, for example, natural language research, legal research, instant access to authoritative sources, AI-generated drafts, or client-specific database integration and rapid analysis of legal materials, and so on and so forth. What are the things that really change the day for a lawyer with this kind of innovation?
Sure. Imagine that our customers love to call our product with a metaphor, saying that it's similar to the day a woman discovered the washing machine and she used to wash clothes with her hands. This is to say how powerful it is and how it changed the daily life of lawyers. So walking through a couple of use cases, we serve through two types of customers. One is the lawyer, the single professional or the smaller boutique, let's say. And imagine they have to draft a legal act to go to court. This takes days of work because you need to check the act of the counterpart, which normally is extremely long and deep dives with a lot of documents. And then you need to research to counter argue and check for opposite jurisprudence. And normally this data is scattered on the web, is not easily accessible, especially because the database that they usually have are still working with keyword search. So it's super complex to find the actual jurisprudence that you need as a counter argument, and then to put together and to write a new legal act to go to court. This is a process that takes days, an entire week. With Lexroom, what you do, you upload the legal act of the counterpart on the platform, and you ask Lexroom to provide a legal research finding the jurisprudence to support the new argument. And Lexroom is going to draft the new version of your act in response, already citing the exact jurisprudence to support the argument. And this is very powerful because, of course, if you carry out this kind of use cases with general purpose LLMs such as ChatGPT, just to make a famous example, you have a huge problem regarding the reliability of the output and possibly also hallucinations of the models. And what we do, we provide the localized and the official sources cited so that the lawyer can actually check the interpretation. So very efficient, and you take the use case down to 2-3 hours of work checking the reliability. This is one. Another one, very powerful, we serve also legal departments of big corporates. And an example there is working with contracts. So you have a contract, huge one, and you need to update your contract as the legal counsel of a big telco with a new privacy and AI policy. So you have a new policy and you need to rewrite the contract on the basis of the policy. Very common use case. Also, this is going to take days to rewrite the clauses and to check them. And what Lexroom does, so you upload the contract, you upload the new policy, and you ask the platform to review the contract already with the policy in place, again citing which part of the policy it has used to change it. And this takes the work down again to maybe an hour, a couple of hours, making the in-house lawyers extremely efficient and fast, which is what the business actually needs.
So there's a big enhancement, improvement in productivity in the practice. That sounds great. We all had experience with generative AI as a user, so we can figure out what a specialized tool may bring to the table. Martina, thank you very much. And Lexroom emphasize hyper specialization and localization. How did you decide that going deeper, not broader, would be the strongest differentiator in such a crowded legal tech landscape?
Yeah, the landscape is extremely hot. The use case is very powerful, as you said, and this makes competition booming. We have a lot of international competitors taking the broader battle, let's say. So they're going international from day zero with cross-country use cases. And we found ourselves to push on a vertical bet, let's say, as you said. So localization and being hyper specialized is our bread and butter because we see the opportunity to serve the long tail of the market, especially markets that are highly fragmented. As I said, we serve also single professional or smaller boutiques, and they need the sources of the local country. So they need to check the actual provision of the banking and insurance authority, and they need to check the localized jurisprudence of a specific tribunal of the major cities in the country. So we gathered the data. We are data first, not LLM first. Also in the use cases, this is very important for us. And we position ourselves as very specific in the country, able to cite all the official sources cross-module, let's say, so all areas of the law. We are doing this in Italy, where we are the market leader, and we are replicating the playbook in other similar civil law countries such as Germany and Spain, where we see the same opportunity to go deeper and to be localized. And to also answer your question, this is powerful because we saw the opportunity to bring reliability to the lawyers that are using large language models. So efficiency is very clear. There is a bet on being the reliable product, bringing AI to the legal sector. And in order to do this properly, we think the data first and localized approach is the good one.
Absolutely. That's really very, very insightful. How are you building? One of the questions comes to my mind is, how are you building an organizational culture capable of attracting talent that is both highly technical and at the same time deeply knowledgeable in legal domain? This seem to be two worlds that traditionally move at different speed. You know, the engineer tech guys and the legal guys, they seem to be different. It's how easy it is, how difficult it is to have a fast scale up process with a culture, organizational culture that blends these two parts together.
Super interesting one. So on the one end, it's a question of employer branding. So doing great the talent attraction job. And in order to do this, we need to be good at communicating the fast growth that we are experiencing. I will start from this point and then move forward. We are one of the fastest growing company at the European level, not only in Italy. So we normally pitch to great talents that we look for, that we grew just in 1 year, in 12 months, from 500K in annual recurring revenues to more than 7.5 million in annual recurring revenues, and from 5 people in the team to more than 70 employees. So it's incredible what we are experiencing, and also it's incredible to be a generational defining company. It's an opportunity that it's rare to find. So first of all, we need to be very good in communicating what we are living, because it's not easy to find something like this, at least in Italy, but also at an European level. It's a rare growth case. And on the other hand, we find a lot of legal professionals that are willing to bring their part in this huge change in how the legal sector is shifting. So even though traditionally this sector was not very used to innovation, actually was very reluctant, they all understood, I would say, that this technology is not nice to have. It's completely shifting the way legal professionals are going to work in the next 2, 3, and 10 years. And therefore, it's great to have the best talent on board to actually understand and define how the product will drive this shift. So they need to be protagonists of this change, and not only, let's say, passive users. This is the opportunity, and this is how we bring the biggest talent on board.
Yeah, that sounds really motivating. It's shared vision, and then the employee branding that attracts this talent, as you said, comes a lot from the narrative, the storytelling, and the compelling message there. The value hypothesis, the growth hypothesis, the whole vision. It's really inspiring. Okay, going to specifically to the business model of your organization. Now, a lot of this start up and scale up digital first have a lot of interesting business model, and I would like to find out more about that. What about your business model? I mean, are you a sort of a freemium subscription model, pay as you go fee for services, API license? And what about the revenue model or a combination of revenue models you are adopting? Subscription per seat, usage-based hybrid. What is the position, the model that Lexroom is using, and in this LegalTech SaaS environment? And where do you believe the future of this LegalTech SaaS will go in the future?
So from a business model perspective, it's a SaaS business model. Very simply, we charge for annual subscription, and we charge the price on the basis of the seats and on the basis of the modules. So depending on the area of law where the professionals are specialized. So they can, this allows us to be very flexible. They can start with a smaller number of seats and smaller number of modules, and then normally, as I said before, the product begins to be addictive and begins to be a huge change in their daily professional life, and they add modules on top, so they expand, let's say, the area of the law that can be used on the platform. And in terms of shift also in the business model, we see more and more the opportunity to put together also the ICPs with which we are working. As I said, we're working with the lawyers using the platform as their mainly assistant day to day, and we're working with corporates to speed up their legal services process and to lower the internal cost. And we see opportunities also to put these ICPs together and to allow them to collaborate.
That's good. Thanks a lot. Concerning the one of the key issues currently in the debate, where accuracy and trust are non-negotiable, what governance, validation, ethical AI frameworks have you embedded to ensure your legal AI agents remain reliable and compliant? Before you mentioned something about, hallucinations problem with the generic tools like ChatGPT. Now the governance, AI governance, and ethical AI frameworks are very, very central in the dialogue and discussions and concern. Where is that legal Lexroom adding in that direction?
Yeah, so being data first and the localization approach that we spoke about creates a product that wants to be accurate and reliable by design. So each output, whether it's a research, an analysis, or a drafting, needs to cite the original PDF sources that have been used, and the sources cannot be invented. So maybe the algorithm can have a wrong interpretation of the source, but then we amplify and not substitute the judgment of the professional. This is very important. So we have, I would say, an accuracy and reliability by design within the structure of the product. And from a compliance perspective, we worked really hard together with top-tier law firms specialized in privacy and security, like Osborne and Clark in Italy. And we brought together an AI and data security policy explaining in an extremely transparent model the data flow of the customers. So we want to be extremely transparent in how the data is used and what is used for training and not. This is another huge point. We do not use the data inside the document uploaded on the platform for training purposes. And this allows the user to be fully compliant, of course, with the internal policies, talking about corporates and talking about legal professionals. They can share these documents also with their clients to be fully compliant and ethical on how they use the data from the client. So I would say transparency and accuracy by design are the key pillars.
That's very insightful, very, very useful. In fact, we always, even in our courses, when we teach courses related to innovation AI, we always say, from our own experience, that in many ways, when it's well done, it's actually empowering professionals rather than aiming only to substitute, especially when there is significant knowledge and data. Remaining on the topic of AI and generative AI, Martina, with the generative AI lowering barriers to entry in the industry, what constitutes Lexroom defensible long-term moat things like data, specialization, speed, product design, partnership, or something else? What's there that's really protecting your competitive advantage, your defensible long-term mode, with AI becoming a sort of a more, democratized, more common in practices?
I would say the strategy behind product development in terms of building a sticky product around the AI infrastructure. So it's not just being an AI assistant, let's say, but creating a product that's extremely sticky on the client. And in order to do that, we are developing a lot of features that are necessary for the day-to-day workflows of the lawyers. In terms of document management, in terms of management of their practices, so the relationship in general with their clients, more towards, let's say, a CRM approach. So in general, defensibility comes from building a product that is absolutely necessary for the customer around the strong AI infrastructure. This is the vision, let's say.
Absolutely. And thank you for that. When you're thinking about, as you're doing now, this stage of your scale up, you are, as you mentioned before, one of the leading companies in scaling up very fast, internationalizing, growing very fast. Now, in the process, when you expand across jurisdiction, like you're doing now, what criteria do you use to prioritize, the selection of markets, regulatory openness, digital maturity, competitive voids, or demand for specialized local legal content? What really guides you in the choice, for example, of expanding from Italy to Germany and Spain? What are the criteria? What's the process, the mindset that drives your decision?
I would say it's a mix of the factors that you mentioned. We started from the idea of expanding into civil law countries, so not really common law countries. And between the civil law countries, we picked markets that were more similar in terms of structure to the Italian one. So we chose highly fragmented markets and as well markets that did not have an established competitor in that market segment. So these, I would say, are the key elements of the decision, and we see a huge opportunity in bringing Lexroom to Spain and Germany. That will be our full focus for 2026, and hopefully if we crack those, even more countries to add.
Okay, it sounds like a very reasonable and sound approach. Regarding one of the key, drivers of innovation right now, the agentic. We hear a lot about agentic AI. This is the moment of agentic AI. With agentic AI emerging as a next leap in legal tech, capable of orchestrating complete legal tasks end to end, how do you expect this shift to redefine the global legal profession? Do you balance automation at scale with nuanced jurisdiction-specific reasoning required for legal work? And also, which roles do you think will evolve, and where the human lawyer will create value in the future in a even more agent-driven ecosystem?
So I will start from the vision that I explained before. I'm pretty sure, as I see, that all the legal professionals are understanding that this technology is not anymore nice to have, but it's completely shifting the way they work, so they need to implement it. And as I see the legal sector evolving, I see a legal service provided through the technology, 100%, with a human in the loop. What do I mean by this? So we need the human expertise, highly specialized, to check the reliability and the responsibility, also the ownership coming from the output. But for operative task, first drafts, research part, it's extremely important to insert the technology in the workflow. So the first part is going to be carried out by the technology, and there's going to be a human in the loop, highly specialized, to check the output and to invest in the trust and in the relationship with the end client. This is how we see the market evolving.
Absolutely. Going for a moment to the the way the world is changing with the recent global trends, one of which is a certain fragmentation and decoupling and some level of reshoring or friendshoring practices and rethinking of the global supply chain, global value chains. As Europe is doubling down on data sovereignty and security and all the IP protection in the IM era issues, do you believe that these regulatory pressures could actually become a booster, a competitive advantage for companies like Lexroom in the European legal tech environment? Do you see this hyper-localized models tailored for the EU diverse legal system as a source of strength and competitive advantage for Lexroom? The fact that more data sovereignty and IP protection and more attention to local EU-based specific needs would be required in years to come.
I think in terms of supporting European players from a regulatory perspective, the main point is not really on data sovereignty and on the framework of laws, but more on a execution level, let's say, on an implementation level, because we have I think we have the structure which can be very, very powerful. Especially, I'm thinking about the Open Data Directive, which is a gold law for AI companies that find their power in data, let's say. And we see a lack in implementation of this Open Data Directive, which can be an obstacle for European sovereignty when it comes to AI companies. So I would move the answer more towards a need to push for the implementation for the Open Data Directive, which is a strong European framework if we want European AI companies to succeed globally.
Yeah, okay, that's very important. That's very important. The Open Data Directive is definitely very, very critical for the evolution of the market. Going back to the startup scale-up growth model, and in particular to the concept of how these legal tech organizations they perform and they evaluated the valuations. Which SaaS valuation matrix out of the typical ones like LTV, CAC ratio, or NRR, or capital efficiency, or payback period, or whatever else, do you think best capture the real strategic value of a legal tech AI startup these days? And where does Lexroom aim to outperform benchmarks? It's very different. Investors have a different perspective in this concept. I would like to know your thoughts about it.
The two, I would say, driving metrics are ARR, so annual recurring revenues, which shows the power of growth, so how fast a company can execute. And on the other end, same importance, if not even more, for churn, so net revenue retention and the churn of users from the product, because this is something that we're seeing in AI in general. Since it's a new technology, there's curiosity and a lot of adoption, but we need to measure the success of a company looking at the usage of the product and looking at the retention metrics. So I would say this is key for long-term success.
Okay, that's very interesting. And just if you allow, just one final question. Thanks for your patience. Legal tech is evolving at an incredible speed. As you mentioned before, globally, there are a lot of players, different stage of the maturity. From an AI driven document automation to predictive litigation tools to multi-agent workflows, compliance platforms, you mentioned that before, corporate legal ops, a lot of things, end to end. They go from,
Yeah.
drafting to litigation, whatever. Uh, Over the next 5 years, which area do you expect to see the most disruptive growth and investors' interest? And how will these trends shape Lexroom vision, especially across regions with different legal structures, such as common law and versus civil law systems?
So I would say now we are in the early days of this technological shift. So there are a lot of companies carrying out different specialized use cases, but I'm pretty sure that there will be consolidation in the next years. So I would say the preferred product by the market and therefore also by investors will be a product that is able to carry out, as we were saying before, end-to-end a process. So not hyper specialized on a use case, but very sticky on the client and able to cover end-to-end a workflow, a collaboration one or a document management one. But it's very important to be able to cover the full one. So I would say this is where we're looking at and where I think the market is going.
Okay, so you start with the specialized and then gradually moving in that direction.
Deeper, I would say, not really broader, but deeper. So to
deeper.
Be stickiness is key, as we said before.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, Martina, thank you very much. That was very, very. It's also nice to see a young person like you are, and you and your colleagues running this exciting venture. And as you mentioned correctly, also it's very important the ecosystem around you. Investors and the venture builders, all that thing. It's really part of the narrative. So, well, thank you very much. Anything else you want to add?
I think it was pretty broad conversation, and I had the chance to tell a lot. Probably what I want to mention, you asked me where we are outperforming. I think we are having, and numbers are talking by themselves, a growth which is extremely rare to see and live. So again, there's a talent opportunity, I would say, for technical and legal professional to join. But mostly what's interesting and where we are outperforming is the product usage, this metric that we had the chance to talk about. So churn avoidance and product usage metrics are incredible. And this is what makes us really proud, because we're really shifting and changing an industry. And the idea of being a generational defining company, shifting how the entire sector is working, is super exciting. And bringing it from Italy to an European and global level, it's even more. So this is just a final thought I love to share.
Okay, I now that you're saying this, I just had one word I want to ask. How do you feel it out of the, just from the top of my mind, how do you manage such a leadership position, in your daily life, managing all this exciting, but at the same time, demanding role?
It's super hard. Like, I never hide it. We never hide it as co-founders of Lexroom. It's a great challenge and adventure, but it's also hyper demanding. So on a personal level, you need to find some ways to recharge and to take some time for passions that is not easy in this scaling and crazy moment. But I think it's super important for a leader to be efficient in the leadership role, to be energetic and to be positive, and in order to do so, also to find time to recharge. Otherwise, I think the most important role of the leader is missing out, which is motivating through vision and positive mindset the other people.
Absolutely. I agree. 100%. Thank you very much, Martina. It was very nice talking to you. Really, thanks a lot, and best wishes for everything, and looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
You too.